doing that.
Is this real lotion?
Yeah, it is real lotion. It's fake lotion.
Well, you never know in this house, something can look like a thing and then not be a thing. It's like going into a Mexican person's refrigerator.
Yeah.
And it's like, that looks like it's butter, but it's probably salsa or beans.
Oh, no, that I have as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
I also have.
I understand that your house works like my house or the houses that I grew up in, where I'm just like, no, don't touch that. It's actually poison.
Well, I don't leave poison out
that's fair.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a dog that gets into things, but I keep my poison contained into certain locations.
Incredibly awful dry hands. Okay.
Random, non-related to anything that doesn't even have to go on the audio podcast, but I just sewed my first button fly this morning.
Button, no fly.
On my first pair of actual jeans.
I cleaned out my port.
That's like actually technically more important for living.
But I don't know if it's harder.
So. I'm not saying it's harder or easier. I'm just saying that's more important to living.
I mean, that's fine, but what you did is technologically or requires more talent, if you will.
I just follow directions.
Oh, same.
Yeah, true.
Shove a needle in chest. Got it.
My
liquids in needle.
My wearable muslin of my pants ended up being way too big.
Oh yes, I remember this.
They're like 8 inches bigger than my waist by following the directions.
For activities.
I'm gonna have to dissect them and refit them later, but that's fine. I think that's
nothing we can't share with everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
What episode are we on?
191.
190. Oh my God, we're so close. Welcome to episode 191. It's a palindrome episode.
Guys, it's
There's No Place Like Terra.
Or 191.
A Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I am Grace. And today we are going over SG Atlantis. Season 1.
Yes.
Episode 19.
Uh-huh.
Siege.
Siege.
It took us a while to spell that earlier.
We're like I before E, except after S.
I was like, hang on, let me see what word tells me. wait, it's red. It's got a red squiggle. That's wrong. Siege Part 1, aka Wraith.
Wraith.
I couldn't think of a good one. The setup episodes are always so hard for me.
Yeah. It could be as simple as AKA Goodbye Groden.
Oh, Goodbye Groden.
Goodbye Groden, Big Road.
Oh, Groden.
Yep.
We were like a candle in the wind. Groden in the wind. Oh, is that too much?
Groden in the wind?
I mean, he kind of is, right?
No, I think that's fine.
Groden in the wind.
Yeah. There's multiple songs that you can make with this. I think we should sing them all in tribute to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of how.
I'm thinking of Blowing in the Wind now.
I'm trying to think of Freebird.
Well, no. What I think you do is you just do the theme from Freebird, Freebird, with different lyrics, like a different song lyrics.
Well, the problem is I'd have to know the lyrics to Freebird.
No one knows the lyrics to Freebird. They just know the beginning.
Oh, which reminds me, I have a really important thing to share with the world. I think I've shared this with every single duck individually because I was trying to be secretive about it, but also not about it at all. Domestic partner boyfriend Jesse found an arcade that has Guitar Hero.
It's very important.
And I need to go back.
Here's a thing I'm going to admit to you right here and right now.
I believe it.
Never played Guitar Hero.
We are going to go because you are going to love it as much as I. So
I'm sure I'd love it. I've been in rooms with people playing it. I just never played it.
I have this thing called fall break in school, which doesn't usually happen because there's different schools within my college, and like the day school gets fall break, but the evening courses don't. And I'm taking classes in both now, so I get to participate in fall break, which means Thursday night, this may also lead to why my back hurt. But we won't talk about that. Thursday night was, I had one more class Friday morning.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was good until like Wednesday. That's my break. So Jesse's like, hey, after class, if you want, I'm going to be at our arcade. A friend of ours told me about. And I was like, cool, I'm coming. get a student discount.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
cooler. $11 unlimited games, guys.
That's awesome.
Pretty freaking cool. So I forgot that I'm old. But so we went, played a bunch of games. They had all the things, and then they had Guitar Hero. And I put on that guitar like the jukebox hero that I am.
Jukebox hero.
And my fingers just found the buttons. And some guy said, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to play competitive?" And I was like, "Sure, but I'm really bad. This is gonna be no fun for
And then
you."
kicked his ass.
And then I rocked him.
And you rocked it.
And I did not realize I was gonna. They just all came in. Stoner Grace.
I just want to play Pick
Remember-
of Destiny.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know if that's available, but there's some pretty good ones. They got Barracuda.
Ooh, Barracuda.
But then I went home and started Googling what it would cost to buy. Yeah, see, you would totally love it. Spoilers, it is far too expensive to repurchase.
Oh, yeah.
It is way too expensive.
Super
I
expensive.
forgot. I owned them all, and then I was like, don't want these anymore.
Yeah.
And now I feel a little dumb about that.
What did you play them on?
PS3.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, PS3.
They don't exist for GameCube?
No, they existed for the Wii.
I have a GameCube.
Yeah, that's too far back. And
Yeah.
I also got rid of my Wii.
Oh. Yeah, I never had a Wii. I have a GameCube.
Wii.
I have a Super Nintendo. Would that help?
No.
Okay.
We'll have to just
See,
go to
here's the thing.
arcade.
And I'll tell you one of the reasons I didn't play Guitar Hero as much is because at the time when those were out in the college era for me, my school, the group I hung out with a lot was much more into DDR and the dance versions of them.
Okay. I also play DDR.
Yeah.
And this place also has a DDR machine.
Oh man.
And that may or may not have led to the fact that my back
You're getting a
hurt.
little back injury?
No, my back went out. I'm old enough to that my back goes out. I was flying up the stairs at school on Friday morning for this last class that I have with my 500-pound backpack.
Yep.
So here's the thing. This backpack definitely weighs more than Kaylee.
Okay.
So
That's
like
35
35 pounds. So I'm flying up the stairs after playing DDR and Guitar Hero on my own on the feet. And then I take a step and I felt a thing happen. From, like death grabbed me and was like, guess what you're going to do? You're going to fall down the stairs right now. And
Guess
I was
what,
like,
bitch?
And I was like, fuck you, motherfucker. It ain't my time. And I looked him in the eye.
When you say to go to death?
Not today. But I definitely hurt my back.
It's okay. Your back goes out. My hips stop functioning. We're just a
We're
complete human.
1,000 years old. You know what we need? We need Daniel's sarcophagus.
I can say that, but my hips started giving out at like 19. So
Oh, poor Nixie. I'm sure the dance had nothing to do with it.
nothing at all. To be fair, Dan's probably helped.
Point of the story: Guitar Hero is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm getting old.
Okay.
But if you still have access to Guitar Hero, my call to action, if you will, is to dust it off, pull it out of the cupboard, and play it, and rock your fucking face off. The end. How long was that? Was that far too long?
No, I was just remembering airplane mode on my watch.
Important things.
So we don't get interference like we've gotten before.
That's my big. That's my big to do for.
I'm trying to think. I don't
week.
think I had any huge extravaganzas or genre-y. Supernatural started. Final season of Supernatural. And no spoilers because I know you haven't seen it yet.
Right.
I don't know if you're caught up entirely to the end of last season.
No.
Okay. I'll just
I'm
say this.
somewhere in season 8.
Okay. Oh, well, season 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like halfway through.
I will say this.
I know that something bad. Well, I know that someone dies.
Yes.
Well, a lot of people die a lot.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Stargate.
But I will say this: the way that they have started this season, if they had huge nostalgia pulls.
Ooh.
In a non-spoiler way, at the end of the episode, they're like, you get the shot up from the trunk.
Okay.
And it's like, and then they go, we have work to do. And when they went to close it, it was actually the first time they closed it from the pilot episode. And I went, if you just do nothing but nostalgia this entire goddamn fucking season, I am here for it every moment.
Incidentally, domestic partner, boyfriend Jesse and I were talking about Supernatural yesterday.
It's a good
Because he
show.
was asking, we were talking about bartender husband Nick.
Yeah.
Because it was his birthday.
Yes, it was.
And how we wanted to do things for his car because he has his dream car.
He does have his dream car.
And then he's like, "What's your dream car?" And I was like, "There's not one car per se. There's a mood of car."
Uh-huh.
And the best way that I could describe it to my non-car
Is
beautiful guy, I was
baby.
like, "Think the Winchester boys."
Yeah.
that's my
Yep.
that's my mood, if you will.
I gotcha. That makes sense.
He goes, "Okay." So that when we're rich and famous, he knows what car to get me. He goes, "I don't know that I can surprise you. I don't know that I'll know what the right thing is." I was like, "You just take me somewhere. You go pick one."
I have two. So we have one of them is a blue Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
2-door. It's the only Jeep to me that exists. I might buy a 4-door. I might excuse a 4-door,
Okay.
but really it's 2-door Jeeps.
Okay.
And because I inherited the love of them from my father, Stingray style Corvette.
Hey, that's not bad. Yeah, I like a good Chevy.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, look, I like the Winchester boys car, but I like a good Chevy.
Yeah.
Give me a Chevy Corvair all day, every day.
Oh yeah.
I was like, if not a Datsun's good. I was like, really, anything works. Anything works.
Datsun.
I'd love a good. So one of my besties ever in the world, who predates from prehistoric race times.
Yeah.
What is it? Pre-pod.
Pre-pod.
So BP. My bestie Jen in the whole wide world had a 240Z, and we would drive it around, and the tires were too big for the wheel wells, so you would take a corner and it would rub, and it was really cool.
My favorite is I don't know what numbers and letters you said together or what that means.
Show you.
No, it's okay. Just show me. No, she's showing me now.
Y'all, everybody take a minute
to look up
240Z Datsun.
240Z Datsun.
It's one of the reasons I like Nissan.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
It's just a cool little hatchback. It kind of looks a little bit like a DeLorean, only cooler.
It does. I do love hatchbacks.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. March 18th, 2005.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking Stargate.
This was written by Martin Gero, directed by Martin Wood. The Martins.
Martin time.
We don't have too many guest stars. This is a fairly main core cast, but we do have Christopher Heiderall back.
That's right.
As Holling.
Means he's gonna die.
Okay.
I've decided already.
And then we have James back playing every single Wraith. He plays Bob again this time.
Again, gonna die.
Well, I mean, every time he shows up, basically, he dies. He may last a couple episodes, but and for the very last time, everyone raise a glass to Craig Veroni, Dr. Peter Groden.
Dr. Groden.
You were awesome.
You know, what a dignified, badass death.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, if you're going to write out a character, if I'm the actor and I'm like, well, I can't think of a better way to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm for it.
It was
being a badass.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And I just love, and I'll get to it here. I loved the irony of them all wearing red, and you had one person you were just met.
Know. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
One's gonna die. This is not good times. Yeah.
So, previously on Stargate Atlantis, remember how there's an ancient outpost that we found? It's a little satellite thing, and you remember how a Wraith dart scanned us, then blew up, and then there's a Wraith hive ships coming to attack Atlantis. And then Taylor has some Wraith DNA.
Remember how Wraith and then
tapped
Wraith,
into Wraith Wi-Fi, and then
Wraith,
and then they don't want Atlantis as much as they want Earth. Yes.
Remember Wraith? Yeah. Remember Earth? Yeah. That's all you
remember Earth.
Yeah. Do you remember Earth?
So we start with all of the scientists in the briefing room. The Wraith are passing by the last surviving ancient satellite that we found earlier on the edge of the system. It's a dead satellite, but McKay and Zelenka are fairly sure they can bring it back to life, assuming they're right about what's wrong with it.
They're right about the wrong.
With just a single Nakoda generator.
Fancy.
And apparently this thing is so awesome, it could take out all 3 ships.
That would be cool.
Would be very cool.
I mean, I would be happy about that.
And, you know, and they touch upon this point again that we've heard is the Ancients didn't lose because the Wraith were more technologically superior. The Ancients lost because there's just a fuck ton more Wraith.
There's just, they're just strength in numbers.
Yeah, they just swarmed. So the satellite
Like
is
the insects that they are.
The satellite is 15 hours away. So it's gonna be a long jumper flight.
Yeah. It's time for a road trip.
Road trip. And Weir does not let Sheppard go because that'd be dumb.
Well, yeah.
And it's gonna be McKay, Groden, and a red shirt named Miller.
She's like, hey, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket.
No.
I don't know if you're aware of this, but you're one of the leads on this show. She breaks the fourth wall for a second. Hey, I don't know if you're aware, but your name's in the opening credits.
We can only have one credit name on the jumper.
He's already there.
Yeah.
So McKay's gonna go.
You're
gonna
stay
stay here. Or we're gonna do something else really cool. Just go practice being John McClane.
And Weir calls the meeting and reminds McKay not to stress him out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But that satellite's the only thing between the Wraith and Atlantis, so don't fuck it up.
Super cool. Everything's fine.
A perfect way to motivate McKay. To be fair, it might be the perfect way to motivate McKay.
That's true. She somehow works really well under that
He's
pressure.
going to complain the whole way, but he's going to get shit done.
He works best in an Instapot.
He does. He works really well in Instapot.
So you put him in the little Instapot and you hit the button for do good things.
Crank up the pressure. And credits.
Yes.
When we come back, we're in the infirmary with Taylor telling John she's fine, which is the worst word to use usually, because fine usually means shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Carson backs her up. She's good. She's good to be on active duty. And you can tell she's...
Though? Says Bates.
Yeah.
Is she though?
I mean, to be fair, if the options, I don't know, the options sitting in the infirmary with Carson or being on active duty.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be like, oh, I don't feel good. I still don't feel good.
It would be more of like, how strong is my need to defend the city and pull my own weight versus sitting here with Carson?
I don't feel good at all. How many sick days do I have left? This is how you know I'm actually sick now at work. Well, not that I've never not been sick, but I am pulling into vacation time for my sick days. Yeah. Not fun. Okay.
So in the lab, Zelenka is nervously helping McKay pack, futzing around. And this is, fun fact, actually the place that we officially learned his first name is Roddick.
Oh.
We didn't technically know that before.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
We just knew him as Dr. Zelenka.
Yeah.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Z.
Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas.
I feel like Roddick doesn't sound like that's what his name would be.
Apparently, it's an extremely common Czech name.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
But Zelenka wants to go instead of McKay because he admits McKay knows more about the city than him. And if there happens to be a problem out there, it should be Zelenka out there instead. And McKay insists everything can be fine. If they can't fix it, they're just going to turn around and come back home.
Mm-hmm.
McKay realizes that he is invaluable everywhere. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you know what? Forget it. Forget I said anything. I don't mean to inflate your ego anymore. I take it all back. And McKay's like, no, you can't just take it back. Yeah. You have admitted that I am smarter than you.
And that you love me. If you listen very closely, you can almost hear Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing playing in the background. And then the deleted scene is McKay singing Leaving on a Jet Plane to Zelenka.
100%.
That's exactly
100%.
how that goes down.
But it's like I did not say any of that. You're a miserable little man. And
I love you.
And McKay's like, let's not ruin the moment.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them together.
They're the besties.
Every scene together with them is golden. I want an entire series with their bromance.
Yeah, they're the best of friends. They really
love them so much.
I don't want to close my eyes.
I don't want to fall asleep because I miss you, babe. I don't want to miss a thing. I apologize so badly.
That is what Zelenka is calling home. To his bunk and listening to as he cries.
It's just a silent one tear.
He's like, I'm fine, everything's fine.
But McKay does get serious and he shakes Zelenka's hands and tells him to keep an eye on a city for him while he's gone. And he wheels his gear out of the jumper.
McLenka? Zelenka?
I like I don't know.
You guys better think about it.
We need a portmanteau for McKay and Zelenka.
I'm trying to go by their first names, but I can't make that work either. Because they're both Browns.
Malenka. Malenka.
Mikalenka.
Just a
Kaylee does not like any of them.
Kaylee's trying to help, but
She's
you know,
like, y'all need to stop.
she
This is terrible.
can't form words. So back in the briefing room, Weir, Bates, and John are going over new alpha site possibilities. They're listing off planets one by one and then crossing them off the list one by one as they
They're
go.
super just like it's like when you buy a house.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, this one's weird. Oh, this one's got a creepy room in the back.
Oh, see, that was more going. It's just one person lifting off restaurants for dinner and everyone else going, no, I don't know what I want, but I don't want that.
Yeah, anything but that. Thanks, bye.
Weir finds one, M1M316. I can't read letters or numbers. There's lush surroundings, appears uninhabited, and John and Steve are going to go check it out.
I love that part too. I can't wait till we get there. Okay.
So Bates chases him out of the room and asks if Taylor's going along. And John's like, you're joking, right?
Get off my ass about this.
He's not. He goes, look, we don't understand her connection to the Wraith. I don't think we should expose her to information we don't want the Wraith to have, including what the new alpha site might be. And John is like, look, Carson cleared her. She's fine.
Yep.
But he's like, but if we know that she can control and see through the Wraith, like she was able to tap in and see everything, how do we know it's not a two-way street?
I don't want to talk about it.
John shuts down the conversation.
Yeah.
She's an integral part of John's team. End of story. And he walks away.
The end.
It's one of those where it's a really shitty situation, but like, Bates isn't entirely wrong.
I don't know that I disagree with Bates at all.
No.
And the thing is, when everything is on the line, should you consider playing things a lot safer?
Yeah.
Maybe you leave Taylor on base and you're like, you know what? You're the head of base security.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sending someone else up.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what Bates needed to do is be like, send me. I'll trade my spots with her. If you trust her so much, I just don't want her to get more of this Wraith information.
Exactly. Like, it's one of those
that's truly his thought.
Yeah. Because I can see the whole, like, the importance of trusting Taylor partly for Taylor's sake.
Right.
But there's also going, there could be shit completely not of her own doing right now.
Yeah.
That's going on.
To me, that's part of something that Taylor could be aware of too, and she's not. Like, she's so busy being offended.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you know, if I'm a security risk, I need to make sure that I'm aware of that.
100%.
It's like the person that comes into work who's incredibly sick.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's fine. I've got to get worked. And it's like, no, you need to not get everybody else
Exactly.
sick. So you are a danger to the rest of your team.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's important for us to remember that part too.
So back in the lab with another duo that I adore, Zelenka and Weir.
Yes.
He shows her a simulation of how the city's going to break apart when they trigger the self-destruct.
Is there any reason for this other than the morbidity of it all?
Because he can just tell her that it's not going to be destructive enough.
It's like, is this super necessary?
I think it's more of, hey, I made this really cool simulation. I need to show it to someone.
I can't be the only one who knows this. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't be the only one who doesn't sleep at night.
So, while it does seem the city is going to break apart, this city is also a spaceship.
Oh, true.
And even if you cut the Stargate out of the equation, the Wraith are smart. They are resourceful. These pieces are big enough that they're going to be able to reverse engineer, quite possibly, an intergalactic ship out of this.
This is not good.
So a bigger bang for the buck is needed. Zelenka's more worried about the computer database, though, in the end. Because it is incredibly redundant, and there is a fuck ton of information in there. Not all of they've even been able to touch into and start looking at.
Yeah.
So
what do we do with this Library of Alexandria?
Well, it's not just the Library of Alexandria, but it's also a really hard to break. It's a really hard to delete Library of Alexandria. You can't just throw things into the trash and empty it.
Yeah. It's not going to work that easily. You can't just set fire to it.
And they can't let even a small part of it fall into Wraith hands.
Right.
They're going to need a way to delete it. And as they're discussing this,
she throw part coffee on it.
Yeah.
That always.
Magnets.
Magnets
is the answer.
By the way, watch El Camino.
I can't wait to watch El Camino. I'm hoping to be able to do it tonight. So as they're discussing all this, Bates calls over the radio. It's an incoming gate. John and his team are coming in hot.
This is so ridiculous.
This is the best.
Yeah.
So once there, they don't really have much more information, just that they ran into resistance, and Bates assumes it's the Wraith. So the team, minus McKay, come through the gate, still shooting, and the gate shuts down. Bates immediately jumps down John's throat.
Maybe for that reason, they really should send Bates out.
Yeah.
So that Bates can firsthand experience this.
Yeah.
And move through this fear he has of like, it's all Wraith. And it's like, nah, bro, there are so many dangers out there.
So many things. But he immediately assumes it's Taylor, that she's a liability, and not going to let John's personal feelings endanger Atlantis anymore. And Taylor's like, come again for Big Fudge?
Yeah.
Would you like to come to my face and say those
This
things?
is my favorite
He
part.
goes, I will in a second. Hold. Bates isn't accusing her of doing it intentionally, but somehow the Wraith are getting info. And John's like, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
We ran into a T-Rex.
Yeah. Legitimately dinosaurs.
One of which, apparently, if they had it in the budget, we would have seen come through the gate.
Let's talk about how great this would have been. This would have been so amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. We've now hit a planet that's pre-Big Bang, if you will.
Uh-huh.
There's dinosaurs on
What do
it.
you mean pre...
I'm sorry. Pre-Ice Age.
Yes.
Pre-Ice Age.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
a fucking idiot. It's okay. We all knew that. Calm
There's
Major.
just nothing.
Calm Major. Just kidding. Okay, so wait. Okay, so back to my story. Story still makes sense, I promise. I just said the word.
I'm going for it.
So we found this pre-Ice Age planet.
Yep.
And let's say in theory that they all go through the similar process, right?
Yeah.
So now we've got humans on this planet with dinosaurs. Did we just create Land of the Lost?
We have created Land of the Lost.
I'm for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
What if we learn to ride the T-Rex and then use it to fight the Wraith?
I'm down for it.
I mean, why not, right?
Listen, it worked really well in all of the Jurassic Park films.
It's a use it to our advantage. How do we learn to control T-Rex?
How do we tame them?
You would just
You name one Blue and you bring in Chris Pratt.
yeah. You bring in so Sheppard has to be the one, right?
Yeah. I mean,
the cavalier handsome
he's
guy.
essentially Chris Pratt.
Yeah. The cavalier handsome guy. You make a wraith, like you bait it into firing at the T-Rex. So it's like, look, that's the bad guy, and also they taste delicious.
Tastes so good.
That's what you do.
They're like boba balls. They just kind of explode when you eat them.
When you eat them. And then as soon as they're fighting, you just get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, like, here's the thing. Seeing the T-Rex come through the gate probably would have completely invalidated or at least pushed off the entire discussion where Bates jumped down John's throat. I am willing to sacrifice that moment.
It's fine. It's fine.
He
would have still somehow thought it was Taylor's fault anyway.
Yeah. So they're about to... The team satellite is about to get to said satellites, and McKay is in spacesuit.
Space McKay.
A highly realistic seeming spacesuit, too.
Yeah.
None of this like futuristic bullshit. Just like I can see NASA
Bulky
using
as
it.
fuck. Sort of a little weird looking. I like that
With
it's
the full pack on the back.
I like that it's unmarked because we're like, we don't know where the fuck you're going.
Nope. So Taylor runs down Bates.
Oh, this is good time. She's like, you want to throw hands? We'll throw them with the fucking hands right here.
And it's all pumped up.
Pulls off her earrings.
Her
pulls
adrenaline
headband.
is going.
Oh yeah, she's ready. Our lives are on the line. It's a very tense room. It's a very tough situation. There's gonna be flare-ups like this.
Well, and you are hitting on what is basically her most touchy subject.
Yeah.
Because she's like, do you know what you just accused me of?
Yeah.
He
My
goes,
whole fucking life.
he's like, look, I'm not saying you're in control of it, but yeah, I essentially think you should be under house arrest.
Motherfuck.
And in case Bates didn't know, Taylor reminds him that being accused of serving the Wraith is the greatest insult among the Athosians. And he's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's a little bitch. He's being a little bitch right now.
And so Taylor doesn't just punch him.
Uh-huh.
She just, a wild elbow appears.
She's like, oh, I don't know how that happened. You just walked right into my elbow.
Yep. I'm walking here.
Yeah.
Just as John shows up, John holds Taylor back while Ford holds Bates back.
Yeah.
And I love
Ford. He's gonna die.
And I love that Taylor's like, yeah, I attacked him for good reason. I did. I'm not gonna lie. I just
He deserved it. He earned it, and I'm here now.
Bates assumes the reason was the rape. And Taylor's like, no, it's because you're a bitch.
Because you're a jackass and super unlikable to me right now. Thanks, bye.
John orders Bates to walk away, telling him that this is not over. And Taylor's like, if it was, I'd be disappointed.
Yeah, both of these motherfuckers.
Calm down.
Hey, go have a drink together.
Yeah.
Go like kids a wraith.
So once Bates is gone, John reminds Taylor that you can't, no matter what he said, you can't, he says a lot of shit. No matter what he says, you can't punch the head of security. Trust me, I want to punch him often. You can't punch the head of security. Just stay away from him. And
I mean, unless he asks you to.
Yeah.
If he's like, punch me right here, then go for it.
Then sure. He's asked for it, literally. And yeah, if John and Ford had not arrived, I'm pretty sure Taylor would kick his ass in hand to hand.
No problem.
Yeah.
She would have handled that easily.
Like he's a weapons guy.
Yeah. It's the
He
second
probably
she
has
unarmed
much
him,
better marksmanship than her.
If he wanted to kill her, he probably could have done that first.
Yes.
But if they're just fighting,
yeah,
she's gonna win.
Oh, easily.
She's gonna win, and he's gonna feel like he held back because he knows how to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
So out at the satellites, good. They're in that jumper because there's a perfect jumper docking port.
Yay!
Because we're dealing with Apple products and Apple products.
You don't need an extra dongle for this one.
No extra dongle needed. So McKay starts his spacewalk, and Gordon points out how heavy McKay is breathing. And yeah, I get that. I get this.
McKay has pushed. Let's stop for a second and think about the first time we met McKay.
Yeah.
Right? And just the complete absurd human being that he was. And
he was basically the exact same character that we just saw in Mobius.
But like not even that apt. Like he was a little bit inept, a little bit like just, and now he's fucking doing spacewalks.
He's doing spacewalks.
What growth?
I'm just saying the first and only time so far I've done scuba diving, I hyperventilated and sucked down 20 minutes worth of air in 5 minutes. So I get it.
Yeah.
Where he's like, hopefully 8 hours is enough.
Yeah. Because I'm going to be done in like 2 hours.
So finally, McKay makes his way to the bottom of the room. The station is dead as they thought. So McKay starts hooking up the generator. Back on Atlantis, Halling is escorted.
Oh, look at that. I haven't seen you in a while.
Side point, the container, the pot that John gave her is on the desk.
Oh.
Question though, does she still have some of her own ashes in it? Do you think? She spread some. I don't know if she spread them all.
Maybe she does, and maybe she talks to herself.
Yeah.
You know
Would you keep some of your own ashes if you were in that situation?
Yes. Because I often talk to myself now.
Yeah.
So why not have like a physical presence to be like, bro, what do we do?
Yeah. I get that.
That's how
I think I would too. Anyway, Halling is there because he has concerns. He's heard of a plan to destroy Atlantis. And she's like, well, yeah, it's a backup. We're trying real hard not to do that, but we're really worried about the Wraith getting to Earth if the city's intact.
Right.
Halling's like, look, I know you worry about your people, but you can't just destroy the city of ancestors to save your people. Atlantis is sacred.
Not wrong.
He's like, Atlantis is sacred, and to consider destroying it merely for your self-preservation. And
it's a very human thought to have. Like, we are the most important. Destroy everything for us. But Halling's not wrong.
Halling is not wrong. And Weir asks him if you'd rather have the Wraith have it. And he's like, I have faith that the ancestors aren't going to let the Wraith have this.
Right.
And they've kept the city safe for 10,000 years. What's a couple more?
Yep.
So Weir is pretty sure the ancients aren't going to just ex-Juice Machina and show up and save.
But that's because her faith is not as strong as Halling's.
Well, I think their faith is in two different things.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. She doesn't have the faith in the ancients the way that Halling does.
And I think it's also because she understands the ancients in a completely different light than Halling does.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
She sees them as people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they have to make their plans to save the city. Like, this is our time. And I need to do everything I can do to make sure the power and technology of Atlantis don't fall into the Wraith's hands, and to also ensure that they never get into our galaxy.
Is she like, ancients help those who help themselves?
and Halling asks her if she can do that, even if it means sacrificing the future of this galaxy.
I mean, it sounds like yes.
And Weir's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
She hadn't even considered it.
And then Halling mic drops and then leaves.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, because it's one of those where destroying Atlantis would not necessarily defeat the Wraith. It would just keep them in this galaxy for longer.
Right.
So is it just, but also letting them through to Earth and then giving this other feeding ground isn't going to have them leave this galaxy.
No, it's a very arrogant approach.
From both sides, I think.
Well, sure. But here's the thing, right? So it's like, look, we've been dealing with this forever. And the only thing that keeps us going is the fact that we have this belief in the ancients.
Yeah.
Now, if you destroy this belief that we have, then what do we have left to live for? And your reason for destroying it is because you don't want your people to go through the life that we've lived for centuries.
Yes.
So it's a little shitty.
It is. But also
and selfish.
It is. But at the same time, there's a little part, and I'm mostly on Halling's side.
Mm-hmm.
But I also see Weir's side in that letting them through to Earth is not going to change the situation that you're in.
No, it's not. But it's going to hurt morale.
It's going to hurt morale,
mm-hmm.
but it's also going to save the billions and billions of lives in that galaxy.
Do we know?
But it's not going to let them through. They're going to destroy Earth.
I mean, we just had this whole conversation with Zelenka about how that may not even be true.
What part?
About how if we destroy all our shit, does that mean that the Wraith can't get their hands on it?
Exactly.
So maybe it's not the best move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I love this conversation.
Yeah.
It's like,
because if this was like a fact, we can destroy this and we can keep this from Earth,
mm-hmm.
I think I'd be willing to budge a little more towards your side. Because like, absolutely, why not contain this?
And I think
it sucks that we're fucked here.
And I think that's what Zelenka and Weir are trying to do, is to bring the percentage of it failing to keep them here to lessen that.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's your return on investment? Like what you invested all of the ancients, everything.
Yeah.
For a chance?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe don't. Maybe we just bring hope to everybody instead.
But what are the Wraith going to do if they get to Atlantis and it's intact and they now have the city?
Yeah.
Is it going to, we know the ancients aren't going to come and magically save Atlantis.
We don't know that.
So,
but what if we don't know that we don't know that? You know what I mean? What if we believe that?
Because I 100% do not see a version of the ancients coming in Ex Deus Machina destroying the Wraith. They weren't able to the first time. That's why they left.
Sure.
And they can't, as ascended beings, they're not going to come back. Now, there's not enough Omos around to come and defeat all the Wraith.
Yeah.
So what would it do to the morale of the Athosians and the other people who believe in the city ancients and believe in the ancients when they're like, no, they're totally going to stop the Wraith from taking over the city. And
then they didn't.
Yeah.
But we don't know. We don't know. Yeah. Because we don't know that that's what they'll think. We don't even know that maybe their belief is so strong that they're like, this wasn't the time.
Yeah.
This is our time.
So I think
because now you're creating martyrs.
Yeah.
And for people with a belief, what an honorable way to go out.
Yeah. I just worry about, I'm sort of, see, now I'm back on Weir's side of the sheer risk of the Wraith getting their hands on that technology and becoming that much stronger.
Yeah.
You can't even risk that.
Here's the truth. There's no right answer.
There's no right answer.
And there's no easy answer.
No. And that's why I think the hardest part of this conversation for Weir as a leader was not necessarily understanding Halling's side and understanding this other side, but as a leader, all of a sudden she was like part of her strength was like, this is the mission. This is the path we're going down.
You have to remember your purpose.
Yeah.
What is her purpose for being here?
Yeah.
And so when you know what that is, you eventually make the call that serves the higher purpose.
Yeah.
Because it's not about serving a person. It's not about serving yourself. It's like,
It's
what
a
is
mission.
my purpose for being here?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if my purpose is to keep the Wraith from the
Milky
galaxy, then that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
Because it's the higher purpose. It's bigger than me.
Mhm.
It's more important than what I am. That's all I can do.
And now all of a sudden there's this variance
Yeah.
that's going to have her second guessing, which
Yeah.
is not good.
Well, and then
for
you
her.
reconsider your purpose. Is
Yeah.
my purpose still valid? And that's probably the game she's got to play with herself now. It's like, wait a minute.
And
Now I
there's
know that there's more
Totally
here.
enough time for her to be playing
Super
those mind
needs
games.
to do it. She's got to do it. I believe in Weir. She
So-
can get it done.
Zelenka is showcasing his team's work.
Mhm.
Lots of people writing code very quickly. They're making an old school, simple computer virus to wipe clean the computer, wipe clean the ancient
Super
database.
best time. They're like back in like high school days.
Oh my
They're
God.
having so much fun.
These are the people that just like hacked into government computers for
Because why
fun.
not? Yeah.
So Weir wants to know how much of the database they could save. They brought all of these hard drives, all these external hard drives with them.
Yeah.
How much can we take it before we wipe the database
Yeah.
clean? Because this is some of the most valuable information mankind has ever found.
Ever.
And Zelenka's brain computer starts processing.
Mhm.
With McKay's crazy awesome compression codex, maybe 7 to 8%.
Yikes. Yikes. Not good.
Weir's like, seriously, that's it? Zelenka's like, yeah, it's a fucking giant computer.
Yeah. It's a lot of things. We don't have that kind of storage space yet.
How much of the internet could we save on hard drives? I mean, that's essentially
Yeah. I don't have that kind of backup. I've only got a terabyte. Yeah.
So on the satellite, life support is working. McKay's out of the spacesuit. Lights are on. Groden and Miller are now there as well. Groden turns on gravity without too much of a warning, and McKay just Wilhelm screams to the floor.
It's the best thing.
Permanent back
The
damage.
best line of the whole episode happens here.
Which one?
You assumed with my life.
Yeah.
I just love it.
It's so good.
Gravity and McKay are not friends.
Gravity, thou heartless bitch. So every system is back online except for one, the one that they actually need.
Yay.
The weapon
Cool, cool,
system.
cool, cool.
So they get back to work.
It's like, remember when you're little and you first get a Nintendo and you're trying to make it work, and it's like you got all the pieces in the right place,
Mhm.
everything's working, somehow you're still getting fuzz on the TV.
Yeah, all you needed to do is take that cartridge and go,
Yeah. Well, sometimes it was like the 3 to 4 channel. It's like, no, we're on channel 3. Try channel 4.
oh
I'll
yeah.
go back to 3. Go back to 3.
But inevitably you also had to blow
Yeah,
for
you
the
have to blow
cartridge.
the cartridge. Blow on the cartridge. They
So-
should have just done that.
In the briefing room, they're still looking for new alpha sites. M1K439 is the one with the waterfalls, and Ford wants to know that can we just name a planet Waterfall?
I love that he just wants to name the planets.
It makes so much more sense.
It's so much easier to him.
And John is
Ford's
called
gonna die.
over.
I'm convinced that Ford is gonna die.
The intercom.
He's too lovable. He's too sweet. He's so well-rounded. They're making us fall in love every time because he's just this innocent.
Maybe he doesn't die.
They're gonna kill him.
So John is called over the overhead to
Mhm.
Generator 1 station because there's a situation.
Hmm.
When he gets there, Bates has been attacked real bad. He's like bleeding from the nose bad.
Yeah, it's super not okay.
Hours later in the infirmary, we see that it was a real serious beatdown.
Yeah.
Bates is incubated. He has multiple broken bones, a severe enough concussion that Carson put him in a medically induced coma for the time
Yikes.
being.
That's not good.
So Ford does point out that both Taylor and Bates wanted to continue the fight from yesterday. And Carson is a murderino and having a forensics exam on both his body and clothes done right now because he's that awesome.
Yeah, he's like, I'm on this. I've got this covered.
Yeah.
I watched enough Criminal Intent.
The other investigative duo is going to go talk to Taylor.
Yep.
So back on the satellite, they're not quite sure why things aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
They take a step back. They think about how the weapon works. It's a single energy beam, runs off a low
Words.
yield charge.
Uh-huh.
So they should have the charge basically builds up at a buffer until it fires.
Gotcha.
Grodin actually saw something like that. He goes and finds it, checks the computer, and yeah, there's a buffer, and it's 90% filled.
Ah, look at that.
So it's getting the energy.
Mm-hmm.
The energy just isn't getting from the buffer to the weapon.
It's always like a tiny thing. It's
It
always
is.
a tiny thing with electronics.
They just have to turn it to
It's
channel
so frustrating.
4.
They just need to turn it off and turn it on again.
Cycle the system.
Yep.
So they run a diagnostic and hope they don't have to order parts, and they have 29 hours until showtime.
Yeah.
And
Somebody
Taylor's
get some duct tape.
duct tape is the answer to everything.
And MacGyver.
In Taylor's
Just kidding,
room,
he's on another planet. In another galaxy. Far away. Maybe even another timeline at this point. Who
Probably.
knows? Yeah.
this show does an amazing job at, like, we're pretty sure Taylor didn't beat the shit out of Bates, but we're actually not entirely sure.
It's the amount of beat.
We know Taylor did not intentionally
Right.
beat the shit out of Bates.
We know that a Wraith possessed Taylor could have.
She has no alibi.
Yeah. Yeah. This part's good.
It's real good.
Because the idea of her being, again, she's being a little arrogant and being like, I know I didn't do it. It's like, I want to believe you, but how can you truly see that?
And it goes all the way back to one of the first episodes of the series with Suspicion, where we weren't sure if it was the Athosians telling the Wraith what planet they were on, and it ended up being Taylor non-intentionally.
Yep. Yeah. It's just this idea of, like, I don't know if it's arrogance or ego or something, where it's like, be willing to be a little more humble and be like, you know what, you're right, there's this thing going on, feel free to put a camera in my
I don't think it is arrogance or anything with Taylor. I think it's fear.
Yeah, but fear stems from somewhere too.
Yeah, I think she blocks out that possibility so strong because she is terrified that it could actually be true,
which all stems from ego.
True. Yeah.
So the idea is fear, because she's unwilling to be weak around this team.
Yeah.
Look, say, you're right. This thing is here. We know this is the fact. Put a camera in my room. I'm pretty confident that I'm not the one doing it. And if I am, then stop me.
Yeah.
Then you put it back on them.
But I also, in the show wise,
yeah,
I think that they left her so strong-willed is because you have Taylor and Bates as being two complete opposite sides. The duality of them being so sure.
Yeah. They're the two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Weir calls Zelenka.
If everybody just listened to me, there would be no drama, and this show would be so boring, but everybody would be happy.
It's not like there's other drama going on in this show right now. The good news is Stackhouse found an alpha site, so they have somewhere to evac if need be. No T-Rexes. And Weir called Zelenka up because he has to find a way to get more to 7 or 8%. And Zelenka's like, first, I have other shit to do with the Wraith coming. But B, I can maybe give you 9%.
Yeah.
I am not goddamn magic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I am, but
I'm not that kind of magic. I'm not that much magic. Also, Wraith coming.
She's like, I don't know how to choose between ZPM research or Ascension or weapon schematics or space travel.
Roll fucking dice.
That's just the stuff that we've deciphered. I can't prioritize any of it. And Zelenka's like, what the fuck do you want me to do? I can't change the laws of physics. Like, I cannot give you more space than that.
Yeah, this is not my,
And Zelenka goes, we're at war. And in war, there are casualties.
Sometimes information is the casualty.
And I'm like, this just furthers my idea and concept that Zelenka has seen some shit.
Yeah. Well, if you think of, even if he's just well-versed, because remember, during World War II, one of the things that Hitler did was gather artifacts and gather past and gather information. And at some point,
a lot of it
you
was
have
destroyed.
To take out the bad guy.
Yeah.
And sometimes the things go with
He
knows his shit.
I'm just convinced that Zelenka is actually the world's most interesting man.
Yeah. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
He's seen some shit.
So back at the satellites, McKay has found the schematics and looks like the main power conduit took some hit at some point. It's damaged. They just have to reroute it. And I love the moment where Grodin explains everything very clearly for the audience, and then McKay makes fun of it for pointing out his masterful grip on the blatantly obvious.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate it because I still don't know exactly what they did.
And then to discover the circuits they need are on the outside.
Hey, look at that.
And someone's going to have to EVA. And it's not going to be easy or safe.
It's like, I don't want to go outside. It's, you know what it is? It's when you forget your phone in the car and it's already like bedtime and you've already come home from the thing that you were going to do. It's like,
you're already in your underwear.
I don't want to go back out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's not my phone.
Not my phone.
Yeah. Damn it.
So they first try rock, paper, scissors. And then these three brainiacs realize you can't really play paper, rock, scissors effectively with three people.
I love how smart those three are, and yet that's still what they tried.
To be fair, if I have a hunch that they would try like rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock or something.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair.
So they draw straws, and as you can predict, McKay gets the short straw, which he's the most qualified anyway.
Yep. I will say that I'm impressed at how easily what's his face broke. Miller, yeah.
He's just real strong.
Because it's like breaking a pencil in half is doable.
Yeah.
But now take the little pieces and break those again.
Yeah.
Not so easy.
Well, he
and
actually
have the control to break it into thirds.
He actually secretly got the draw straws pencil. It's like pre-broken in certain locations.
Yeah. It makes it a bitch when you sharpen it. But
it does.
It's still perfect.
Yeah. So back on Atlantis, John and Ford report to Weir that they're fairly sure Taylor didn't beat Bates. Although when pressed, Ford does admit that he's worried that she did it unknowingly. Because
he's just a smart kid.
The connection with the Wraith really doesn't sit well with Ford. And John's like, well, I mean, what the fuck would we do? Stick her in the brake? Like, it's Taylor. She's fine.
Right.
And Carson runs in just then. We have a problem.
Guess what, bitches?
He found DNA on Bates' uniform.
Yay.
It's not Taylor's. He ran it twice to be double sure. There's a Wraith in the city.
There's a Wraith in the city. It's like a snake in my boots.
I was just about to go, there's a Wraith in my boots.
We're not allowed to hang out anymore.
Dramatic music. Everyone is geared up in the briefing room before they search the city. John just wants to know how it's even possible there's a Wraith in this city.
Okay, that keeps thinking to me of like Devil in the White City, which is the isn't that the Chicago one? I'm gonna look it up.
I mean, I know Chicago.
Nobody listen to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna find it.
So Zelenka realizes that it was the dart that scanned the city a couple weeks ago. He must have beamed in directly before he self-destructed the ship.
H.H. Holmes. The story of H.H. Holmes is what I'm thinking of. Set in Chicago.
Can I tell you, I thought you were legitimately talking about a song by Chicago.
No. The Devil in the White City.
Why, I was actually impressed I didn't know it because I happen to be a big fan of Chicago.
Nope, just my murder brain coming into play. We're hanging out.
Yes. So.
I mean, it fits.
It does fit.
Okay.
Conveniently, and it makes sense now because when the Wraith dart flew by and the Wraith then beamed itself into the city, it's the same time that Taylor started continuously feeling the Wraith
wait
presence.
a minute.
Just
we've been bamboozled.
So he must be trying to sabotage the city before the ships get here, or make sure the self-destruct doesn't go off, or both. Yeah. And so for now, they just have to track down and neutralize the immediate threat, and Zelenka has a plan.
Yay, Zelenka is the man.
At the satellite, Miller flies the jumper over to the circuit so McKay can EVA there, and he starts his spacewalk, and he gets real nervous about it because he can't hold it. I was like, tie yourself to the ship.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad that you said that. Because I'm like, there's nothing. There's no, like someone's sweater.
Your ship is there.
Yeah. You can do a thing.
There's a whole bunch of railing there.
Yeah.
You can tie yourself in.
To something. Nope. Gonna go cold.
So Gordon reminds him of the time constraints, which McKay is overjoyed to be reminded of.
Oh, yeah.
And he quotes Armstrong while bashing his helmet into the side of the satellite and gets to work. So Zelenka brings up the biometric scanner sensor they have there, and it detects irregularities in biometric rhythm and reports them, which normally would have picked up on the Wraith, but it requires so much power that they only have it scanning the gate room. Assuming anyone can come to Atlantis, they were assuming they would come through the gate, and they were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, question. Do you think, well, we know this, like, sensor can detect between a wraith and a human and a dog and a plant.
Right.
And report them. Can this also, like, irregularities in biometric data, can this also essentially tell if someone's having a heart attack?
Oh.
And how sensitive is that?
Like, hey, there's people fucking over
That's
here.
exactly what I was like. Like, there's other reasons why your heart rate would do some weird shit.
Wow, those two work out every night.
If you see the two dots in the same place and then it senses you that, like, heart rates are spiking or something.
Look how close those two are. They must be sparring. Wow, they're sparring very rhythmically. Why am I still watching these dots?
That was my thing. I was like, how does, here's the thing.
Why
Also,
am I turned on by these dots?
here's my other question. It's the ancients. Would they build in a feature smart enough to know, like, that's okay, heart rate spikes?
Yeah. Oh, those are sex spikes. Let's not monitor that.
Like, let's not alarm people to that.
Yeah. It'd just be like heart rate approved.
Yeah, exactly.
Approved for this activity.
Yeah.
Activity. Oh, God.
Like, it senses if there's, like, a second or third, who knows, heart rates
however many
together that all do sort of the same thing,
sure,
and it's like passes that.
Yeah. Yep. Everything's fine.
Yeah, so Zelenka widens the field to the entire city, or at least this core of the city, and there's one red dot in the middle of all the white dots.
There you are.
That's a wraith. Wouldn't it be green?
I would have made it green.
Okay. So now they can track them in real time. So there's going to be two teams, and they're gonna, like, attack it, the dot.
Uh-huh.
So McKay has found something.
No, they're not.
McKay, well, just in a different use of the word. It's fuck is a very flexible word.
Yeah.
They're gonna fuck some shit up.
I don't want to step away from this conversation without discussing how cool his super cool crystals are.
Oh, well,
his little, like, glass little pieces. Okay, that's all I'm done.
So McKay found some bad news. Gordon points out that you're McKay and you can fix anything. So it might be a good thing that McKay got the short straw, because the main conduit, so the main, like, artery that sends all of the energy from the buffer to the weapon,
ate too many cheeseburgers
and has been, like, cut in half.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's going to be like a quadruple bypass.
Speaking of hearts.
Yes.
And biometric readings.
In order to get the energy to get to the weapon.
Good times.
And they're only going to have enough time to do this once.
We can do it.
So John and Taylor's teams try and box the wraith in. He's not moving, hoping he's sleeping. One person has a wraith stunner on John's team, and we know a couple people have them on Taylor and Ford's team.
Yep.
So they wait for the other team to get in position.
Do the things.
When the door opens and the wraith just fires from inside and John's whole team goes down.
Yeah, of course.
On the satellite, McKay has done all he can. Yes, the power is finally getting through. McKay is going to get back on the jumper, head back, pick Grodin up, and get out of here.
Yeah, everything's coming up, Millhouse.
Everything's coming up.
Working. We're taking down Wraith.
So
quadruple bypassing a satellite.
John comes to in Atlantis after a moment.
Yeah.
Like, sort of half comes to. He still can't move or anything. And the wraith comes out. He's had a radio this whole time.
Yeah.
Which is why he heard. He knew everything that was happening.
Everything was up. It's like, dude, your mic's on.
And
okay, fine. We'll use this to my advantage.
And he starts opening John's jacket to feed. And evil monologuing has that, nothing will keep them from their new feeding ground.
Except your dumb monologuing.
And as he lifts his hands to plunge it into John's chest to feed, he's hit by a stunner in the back. It's Ford and Taylor.
Everything is coming up, Millhouse.
Woohoo!
This is my Millhouse dance.
John was on Vox the entire time.
You're allowed to see that.
So Ford and Taylor heard everything and just double timed it. John still can't speak or move, but he's okay. So back at the satellite, they dock to pick up Grodin, but there's there's a problem.
Hmm.
So when they rerouted and did this quadruple bypass, they ended up taking and cutting the power from the airlock.
Cool.
So they can't do it manually because Groden doesn't have a spacesuit the way McKay did.
Right.
So McKay is about to go back and undo the patch he just did, but there isn't time, Groden points out. Like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
And he goes, just
Groden's
leave.
like, basically, this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what I'm walking into.
And he's like, look, it'll be fine. You get a safe distance away.
Mm-hmm.
And when the Wraith ships come, I'll fire at them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's done, you just come back and pick me up. It'll be no problem. Bonus is you can power down the satellite until they get close. They don't sense it. And McKay doesn't like it. Groden doesn't like it. Miller doesn't like it. No, everyone knows this is a bad idea.
This is the worst plan.
But everyone just kind of goes with it because it's kind of the only
Groden,
plan.
we know that you're going to die. I will remember you. Do. Groden's like, look, we all know that Zelenka is waiting for you. He loves you.
I'll never let go, Groden. I'll never let
I'll
go.
never let go. There's probably room in this suit for both of us.
I almost spit taked my teeth.
I was so excited.
So John is back up and around, and he comes to the brig where Ford is watching over their new friend that they named Bob.
Of course.
Okay, Bob, John's going to need to know what you've been doing for the past 2 weeks in the city.
It's just stuff, learning the net.
Things and stuff,
You know,
sightseeing.
Surfing the net.
Yeah.
Eating in the commissary.
So out at the satellite, the Wraith ships have come out of hyperspace.
Yay.
Flying right by the satellite, as Miller and McKay see from the jumper, their cloaked jumper.
Mm-hmm.
Groden powers up the station 60 seconds and they'll be weapons hot.
Yep.
McKay tells Weir all of what happened. And everyone is in the control room waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the brig, Bob is not in a talkative mood.
No. He's not very chatty, Bob.
John needs to know if he's been sending messages
Maybe he goes by Bobbert.
back to the fleet.
Sure.
And Taylor's like, I might be able to connect with him if you let me do my brain things.
Yeah.
John is not into that idea.
My notes say she's gonna mind get him.
She's,
That's how my notes.
Yeah.
Were. That's how I wrote notes.
I mean, options are limited. So,
mind get.
yep.
Mind get him.
Mine get them.
Mm-hmm. Get him.
So she goes, she focuses, she tries to connect, and Bob almost does like a dog head tilt in confusion.
Like Mar? Yeah.
What's going on? Groden sets the satellite to automatic fire mode, and it is
First,
so
it's
tense.
Satellite to unfucked mode.
Yeah. It's just like it goes to plaid.
Uh-huh.
And the scene is so tense they go to a commercial break.
Yay.
They come back.
Yay.
With the satellite firing, slicing one of the ships apart in half,
Best.
blowing it up.
Woo! At least he did something
He did.
effective.
One
and
kill.
amazing.
When word gets back to Atlantis, they all break out in cheers.
Except don't cheer yet.
I mean, you can cheer when a third of the forces are down.
Sure, but you lost your guy.
Yes.
You like take a moment and you observe and you do a golf clap.
Which to be fair, they don't know he's dead yet.
Right.
So they're
That's
cheering
why I'm
now.
like, don't cheer yet. It's like when you're listening to the dollop
Yeah.
and Dave says, don't clap.
Don't clap.
It's not time to clap yet.
So Bob asks what Taylor is doing, realizing that she's getting directly into his mind.
Mm-hmm.
So he just lets her in.
Fine.
And Taylor collapses in pain, grabbing her head.
Yikes.
John orders the force field down and just goes in firing, forcing the connection to break. Taylor comes out of it. And Bob's like, you can shoot me all you want. My wounds are going to heal. Come at me, bro.
He's like, okay, I will. Bye.
And he's like, how long? How long do your wound's going to heal? Just empties the rest of his clip.
Yeah, forever. You're dead now.
And he goes, I want to know what you did to the city. And remember, I have no fucks about killing you.
Mm-hmm. You can tell me or you cannot tell me. Either way, I'm gonna kill you. So it's really just your call.
Yeah, which I mean may not be
It's
the
not
best
very helpful. Yeah.
from a bargaining position.
It's gonna be like, you're gonna fucking kill me anyway, so why am I gonna tell you anything?
At the satellite, McKay is waiting for Grodin to fire again, but Grodin has a problem. The patch overloaded and isn't good anymore, and the weapon can't fire again. All the juices in the buffer, but it can't fire. So he's going to try to reroute it. McKay is ready to go pick him up, but Grodin's like, there is no time. You need to get out of here. And as sparks and alarms are flying, and he realizes what is about to happen, and Grodin says, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
And before they can even start to fly towards the satellite, the Wraith fire, destroying
not Penny's boat.
Destroying the station and killing Grodin.
Not Penny's boat.
John is not screwing around. And he goes, did you sabotage the city? Yes or no? And he fires again. And Bob tells him that those who feed upon him will know what you've done to me.
Oh my God. Shut your face.
And John doesn't have what you would call a witty comeback. He's just going, yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah. Eat 2 dicks. Basically.
That would have been a better comeback. And just kills him.
Everything's
he's not dead yet.
No.
He's not dead yet.
Everything's not coming up Milhouse.
No, and Ford's like, should we take a step back? Did we go too far? And John's like, we didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Batman.
Yes. Except Batman doesn't kill.
He's not dead yet.
That's fair.
He's not dead yet.
No, you're right.
He's still full Batman here.
Super true.
So McKay calls to the city that they lost a satellite. They did not take out any other ships. But Peter Grodin was on the satellite. And we see Zelenka hearing that news and reacting.
It's not okay.
But they have 2 ships left.
2 is better than 3.
And the 2 ships have paused. They're not necessarily moving ahead. So not only did Peter help them destroy a third of the forces, but they also bought them more time.
Yep.
So she calls the jumper back to Atlantis and goes on citywide and does her Independence Day speech.
It is time. It is time for an Independence Day speech.
So the plan to stop the Wraith has failed. The Wraith will make it to Atlantis. They will start their evacuation plans. She can't promise them they'll win. She can't promise them they're going to find safe harbor. But they've accomplished extraordinary things together and in the face of uncertainty. And if they face their future together, they will continue to do extraordinary things. And that today will no longer be known as a Terran holiday. But the day Atlantis cried out in one voice, they will not go quietly into the night. They will not give up without a fight. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
So on the scale of level 7 Keyleth to full Independence Day, where's where? Like level 7 Keyleth being our full on 1.
Yeah. No, I mean, this isn't quite full Independence Day. It's not quite as
rousing.
I would say this is maybe level 16 Keyleth.
Okay.
They definitely get the temp bonus points from this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Couple of hit points.
Yeah, they definitely get the bonus temp hit points.
Yeah, I dig it. I'll dig it. And then we're done.
And they're really going to start the evacuation now, and she's going to see him on the other side of the war. Insert Hamilton reference here. So Zelenka puts his virus on standby with and the grace that he uses to type this in. The man is an accomplished piano player, I'm convinced.
Sure. Yeah. He's just in everything. He's in every...
Further evidence, the most interesting man in the world.
The coolest dude ever. The greatest man alive.
So in the brig...
He's probably amazing in bed.
Probably. In the brig, the Wraith tell John that no matter where they run, we will find you.
Run away.
Just as surely as they will find Earth. And when they do, they will feast.
On your mom.
And with that, John has enough and kills Bob.
Well, Bob had to die.
And we end on a very beautifully lit, very serious John face.
Yes.
To be continued.
This is the part where Grace tries really hard to wrap up quickly because she knows we're going to get to watch the next part. And I try to be patient. Guys, it's getting to where we're recording the episodes, and I'm like, I know that my reward for recording this episode is
watching the next episode.
So as much as I enjoy the record, I'm like, I don't know. It's like when you give Kaylee a treat. She's like, look, I know that I'm going to get the greenie if I just relax. I'm at the point where the tail cannot sit on the floor any longer.
Because her whole, see, she has to compensate. She doesn't have a tail, so her whole butt has to get up and like start moving.
The entire body starts to vibrate.
Yeah. So like her whole back end, just crouch on the ground. The whole back end is just wagging.
We'll find you guys here next week.
Grace's whole back end is just wagging.
Guys, this is okay. Well, now we're gonna watch part 2 of the Siege. Thanks. Okay, bye. Follow us on Twitter, Terra Podcast.
Follow us on Facebook at There's No Place Like Terra.
No, this is No Place Like Terra.
It's on Patreon at There's No Place Like Terra. No, patreon.com/There's No Place Like Terra.
Like us, rate us, review. I can't even do it.
On podcasts, where you find your favorite podcast. We're going to let Grace go watch Siege Part 2 now.
You guys. Okay, bye.
We will see you later. Bye.